Yeah, hello, my friends. Just a couple of things because the last thing is kind of vicious. First of all, when I was talking about the working with Vance, I meant to say Trump and Vance came, not Musk and Vance. Trump and Vance came in, and they wanted to know what was going to be done to make the papers that are make news that day. And I suggested the increase of the federal wage, blah blah blah. But let's go back to the Musk, or the gang stock, and I called it a Musk gang stock. Why did I do that? Well, because the first car that I went to, and I took out the windshield, which was very aggravating. This was a very souped up car, almost like a Batmobile, right? And when I took out the windshield, this big like I want to say monster, like almost a cartoon. It's like it came out like if you release something from a bottle and there's a lot of pressure on it. It came out that way, and it went, "Rah!" And it was like, wow, this is fucking weird. And now I learned that it was Musk actually in the car. And he has his device, in case something goes wrong, he can kind of like still stay in the car and blow a person away who's might be like doing what I had to do to protect myself. Because he was really, aggressive. And he had like a special super car. And then I heard this too. And I might be wrong because I can't verify it. But I hear a lot. Is that as they took this sand guy away, who actually worked for Musk, is my understanding, he was still alive and ended up, people saw him going away, alive. He turned down medical care, ambulance care, as far as I understand. And, there's cameras and all that. I've never been indicted. They knew who I was. They set it up for me. Anyways, the guy eventually died. I understand. The sand guy died, and he comes from like some sort of like Peru or something like that, where they're steeped in the art of gang stalking. This gang stalking thing goes on big time in third world countries, real big times, because the oligarchs in those countries, they don't play. They run, It's the oligarchs that pay for these gang stocks, a lot. There's CIA money, but there's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of big cars and blah blah blah, and a lot of flying in, flying out. Anyways, a lot of damage, and you know, so Musk, I hear, takes this young guy from the scene. What's he doing in Van Nuys in the morning? I was gone by this point. People who knew me are relating this to me. Maybe it's wrong. I have no verification. But if it's right, I'm saying this. The guy was doing what he did, and it's true. It's right there. But I'm not going to push it because I never investigated it that far. I just had the conversation with Musk during the so-called delusion where, uh, I was pretty sure it was his car because it was so souped up and he was known to have those type of cars and whatnot. And he basically, got into the whole Sandman thing. And I guess he's on the hook because the guy, the Sandman, died while in Musk custody. And he buried him. I guess he buried him. They found like ooze and pieces of him and Musk's property. This is what I understand. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Don't sue me. I'm actually judgment proof anyways, if you want to. But the fact of the matter is, I guess the guy died, and they're looking at Musk and saying, "Well, why is he dead? How did he die?" And you know, because he's got an unsavory reputation, from what I understand. This guy Musk. And there's a lot more involved in these delusional things that happened during October with me and Musk. And I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to bore you. Plus, it's time for me to go to bed. Good night, my friends.